How's everyone doing? Today is your boy A-Dog TV, another Dev Gossip TV. Today we're gonna carry on reacting to our thing. We were reacting to this guy that's going crazy online. I went viral for his crazy assumptions. Not even assumptions, his crazy comments about single moms, loud moms, and obese moms. How they should all be put in a place together, and any man that's dating them should be punished. Thinking, wow, this is a part 3 of it because it was so long. I had so much to say in the previous one. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and we're gonna keep listening to what this crazy guy is saying. As I said previously, he is one post away from being blocked, but he's not in UK, he's in America, so they can say what they like, I guess.
This thing. So the thing is, you have to actually somewhat chastise or discipline the guys who are making it like a possibility in women's heads that they can do this thing. Now, you saying that this is a medieval thing, I don't know why you said that, because based on you said that if a guy commits any harsh crime that you deem as harsh, any one of those crimes, you will be perfectly fine with dragging them out into the middle of the street and doing something to them. You'll be perfectly fine with it. So that's why, based on what you're saying, you're just saying that you're just stating your opinion out loud instead of just understanding his point of view about these men are actually causing future harm to the family structure, but you think that's perfectly fine. That's all I just heard. Even though that right there is almost as bad as the other thing. Tell you the truth, I would say this one over here, them enabling them are worse than almost any heinous crime you can think of, unless you talk about genocide. If it ain't genocide, you can almost make an argument that what's happening over here is almost or equally as bad as that one.
So in what culture is it law, because you mentioned law, in what culture is it law that a man should not lay down with a woman who has a kid already by another man?
If you were following, I'm talking about building culture. I stated that from the very beginning. You see a lot of blacks, because they're not very strong mentally, strong physically often, they have trouble coming up with their own ideas. And what really scares people, whites especially, is when you find a black man who can think of ideas, such as yours truly, which is why I'm hated and marginalized. And so what I'm doing is something unique. I'm introducing you to ideas. And sometimes it's hard to accept new ideas and to change.
So you would have a society where it is law that single mothers or men should not engage in any kind of personal relationship with a single mother, a woman who has kids by another man. And that would be a law punishable for the man.
Okay, I kind of hear what he's saying, because when you look at it, for example, like the Jews, not even the Jews, you know, I won't even say blacks. No, sorry, I just mentioned. What I'm trying to say is, it's the modernized men, because let's be real, in Africa, yeah, when you watch this pop the balloon, as soon as they hear someone's got a baby, they don't want nothing to do with it. In Africa, it's different. Obviously, in the modern society, America, Europe, whatever, it's different. In Japan, they don't do that neither. Japan is like Africa. In the Jews, Dubai, Muslim, none of them do that. It's true. I hear what he's saying. It is mainly a black thing. Yeah, okay. I can give him that. It's definitely mainly a black thing, 100%. Yeah, 100%. Okay. Yeah. So okay, I'm starting to understand where he's coming from. Cool. Still wild, but I hear it.
Is me to August.
It's violated.
We would have a law around men procreating with women who have already procreated with another man.
Okay.
So is that part clear?
Yeah.
You might poke her guts. We look down upon it. We frown upon this kind of thing. We think it's low behavior. But it is immoral, but not illegal. But what is illegal is to procreate with a woman who's already procreated with a man.
So let's look back prior generations. Like a lot of our grandparents had multiple baby daddies, baby mamas, whatever you want to call them. So in my own family and other folks' family that I know of, it all became a trashy situation, it seems, recently in this society. Before, it was never frowned upon. It was always...
Is that true?
I don't think that's true.
As far as I know, yeah. It seems like the man was...
It's talking rubbish now. In our parent society, a man was allowed to, well, as an African, a man was allowed to have more than one wife as long as you can look after them. But a woman was never allowed to sleep around and have multiple baby daddies. I don't know what country he's from. Definitely not
He's
mine.
commended for raising another man's child. And men even wanted, especially if it was a boy. Well, hold on, let me finish. Especially if it was a boy, a man would love to take that boy under his wing. I'm not advocating it or promoting it, saying it's good or bad.
Sounds like you are.
You definitely are. Like, that was wild. Did you just say that you're not advocating for it? But first off, you're making the argument against him about creating a culture where we should not do this thing. Where now we actually have how many generations? We have so many generations to show you that this thing right here is actually catastrophic. It was catastrophic. I don't know, man. I don't use words. Same son do that. He's good with it. I was like, we already have so much history now to prove that this is a horrible thing. And you're trying to say that, this thing didn't become a bad thing until certain times. Like, what's your argument? Are you saying that we should be all right with it because at once upon a time, men and them were good with this thing? Is that what your argument is? Because at once upon a time, people were all right with slavery. That don't mean what was being done is actually good for society. Is that your argument? Because I need to know now. And you confusing me right now, brother. I'm just being honest with you.
No. I'm just saying the differences in the times. The difference in the times may be what is making it look worse than what it is, or worse than what it has been.
So what's your point?
Okay, so my point is, let's say 50, 60 years ago, a man would love to raise a boy if something happened to that boy's
Well, that's
father.
a lie, though.
That's
my
not
point.
true.
That's
That's a lie.
Yeah.
So can you first validate
That's a
that,
lie.
and then we can proceed from
That's
there?
a lie. 50, 60 years ago, a man would... No. The only time 50, 60 years ago a man would raise a next man's child is if he can't have his child himself. But that's still a lie. Even I'm telling a lie. It's never been a situation where a man 60 years ago is accepted now. Those days, it was not acceptable at all. So I don't even know what he's talking about. I don't know what book he's been reading. Because he got that information wrong to the T.
Well, my validation from my own personal experience.
Okay, so are you aware that
That's not
your personal
argument.
experience is not reflective of the general society? For
Exactly.
Yes,
if I were to tell you that, you know what? I love driving because when I go out, my driver, who's driving my Maybach, is they always put on my massage seats and they put on ambient lighting.
I can second that. It's like saying, some of my friends used to say, oh, you know what? I like driving when I'm drunk because I'm more focused. So does that mean that that's a fact? Or is that healthy? Of course it's not. It's just what he likes doing. And of course, few months later, he crashed in a roundabout. He was going around a roundabout and literally his head started spinning and he hit the roundabout. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
And then they put on the aerated seats with just sends like cool breezes through my body. Driving is such a pleasure. I don't know why people get bothered about traffic. I don't mind traffic. I just open the panoramic ceiling and let the air flow in. Why do people get bothered by driving? There's nothing wrong with traffic. I enjoy it. No, that would be foolish because my personal experience is not reflective of the average person.
Average, yeah.
So that's why anecdotes are not useful.
Well, that's what I was about to say. This is from my own personal experience. I can't judge or gauge for the entire country from my own personal experience. I only know what I know, and I only have seen what I've seen. So what I'm saying is, in the current society, we have these terms, baby daddy, baby mama. I'm saying what has happened in our society makes it look a lot more negative than what it really is or what it has been. 50 years ago,
It's not negative.
50 years
It's
ago,
not negative.
well, hang on. 50 years ago, baby daddy, baby mama was not a term. It was just if a woman had kids and the father was not there, and she dated another guy, the guy would raise those kids with no problem, and there was
50, 60 years ago, if you break up with your partner and both of you had kids together, it would be hard to find another partner. That's 50, 60 years ago. Africa is 50, 60 years behind. They still do that. In UK, we have so many laws, acts, you can't speak your mind or whatever. You know, I don't agree with it. I believe you said, listen, you're in a relationship, you're not happy, you gotta move on and find happiness, because you can't be forced. Because what are you teaching your kids? You know what I'm saying? Obviously, understanding it is messing up the future generation. There's too many half this, half that, step this, step that. There's too many of those. I totally understand that. But not marrying them it's not the issue. You know what I'm saying? The issue is the men more needs to have the conversation and be like, look, if I'm gonna be in your child's life, I'm gonna have to act like their biological father, in a sense, discipline, feeding, clothing. You feel me? All those things. Because I can't discipline your child and you're gonna come up to me and be like, oh yeah, but why you do that? This and that. You know what I'm saying? Oh, because you're not a real dad. No, none of that. You know, there has to be a structure. If not, there's no point doing it. Let me know in the comments what you guys think, man. Because he's starting to win me over a little bit. I hear what he's saying, but that other guy, he's not making no sense. But yeah, like, comment, subscribe, and let's discuss it further in the comments. It's your boy, A-Dog TV. That's another Dove Gossip TV.